Around the Table on Harrison's Original, KHOZ.
Welcome to Around the Table. It is our middle of the week hump day. Hump day.
That's a little late on the draw. That's what I forgot.
What'd you forget?
That I was going to have
Wednesday?
to do. That I was going to have to do that.
How's your calf muscles? You got to use those.
I do.
Yeah.
I've actually been working them out a little bit.
I was going to say, you got a little problem with your tennis elbow.
Yeah. I do.
Are you working that tennis elbow out?
I'm starting to use it. I haven't used it in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Because I was told to rest it, don't do anything.
Are you working the other one?
No, I didn't do anything.
Oh.
I got on the treadmill. That was about it. Or a bike.
Okay.
But I'm trying to use lightweight. It's like starting over, Dan.
I know. I feel the same way. I need to get back in the gym.
Anyway, I'm trying to do whatever I can to avoid anything further being a problem.
Well, I would suggest doing leg thrusts.
Leg thrust? What's a leg thrust?
Well, like when you... Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Oh, it's been a long time since I did them.
We don't know what it's called, but I should be doing it.
Lunges.
Oh, I hate it.
Oh, don't you love lunges?
Oh, it's just right up there with
them.
squats, and then my knees will hurt. So, it's kind of a catch-22.
Do you hear them pop? I hear popping going on these days.
Sometimes there's a pop that my ankles will pop.
Yeah, I think when your body starts popping and creaking and stuff like that, it's probably time to slack up a little bit.
I am. I don't do as deep. I have to you have to modify,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, how you do things. But
yeah. Well,
anywho,
I guess we could talk about exercise instead of doing it.
But where does that get us?
Nowhere.
That's what I've done for the last however many months, was talk about it, not being able to accomplish anything.
Yeah. Was that Mike Moore?
That is Mike Moore.
Do we have Mike Moore as a guest today?
He is.
With
him and Jacquie Markel.
I've got Jacquie Markel on the list here.
Well, Mike Moore is here as well. Did you see him? He just walked by.
Is there a way we could
Can we just
push him back?
I'm glad he went to the other.
We could talk about him.
He went to the other room.
He went to the other room. He's not in the room, so he doesn't hear what we're saying. We could talk all about him. But Jacqueline Markel and Mike Moore are going to be on the show today, and they're going to be talking about the King of Kings, that movie. King of Kings. It's an animated movie. Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, there's another one. There's another King of Kings. I think it's an older movie. This must be a new one.
It is, and I've watched it. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explaining this to your child. And anyway, I'm not going to give all the scoop. I'm going to let them talk about it, but it's a good movie.
Well, we'll give them more to talk about.
And we'll
when
let
they get in
them
here.
tell you where it's happening and how you can attend.
Okay.
Things such as that when Mike gets back.
Yeah. When we get finished with our topic to ponders.
Yeah.
But first, we got to do some weather.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I don't have the weather today.
Well, I do. It's 30% chance of showers.
Here we go.
Oh, you found it, Dan?
I found it, yeah.
And thunderstorms mainly after 3 p.m. Sunny with a high of 89 today. Tonight is mostly clear with a low of 68. Thursday, a 10% chance of showers and thunderstorms. A high near 90.
Let's do the whole weather forecast.
The high near 91 and a heat index values as high as what?
Oh.
97.
Okay.
Thursday night mostly clear with a low of 72. And then Friday, a 10% chance of showers after 1 p.m., high of 92. Friday night, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly after 1 a.m. I plan to be asleep when that happens.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Mostly clear with a low of 72, then take it on from Saturday.
Okay, Saturday they've got a 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms happening with a high of 89. Saturday night, 30% chance of showers with a low of 69. And then Sunday, another chance of showers, 60%. And then it's going to be around 87. Not so bad. Not as hot as what it's been. Sunday night, low 69. Then Monday and Tuesday, it looks like we still have a 50% chance of rain for both of those days, with the highs in the lower 90s, and then for the overnight lows around 70.
I think it'll be humid though, since there's rainy. It's
It
been humid already.
96% humidity this morning.
That's why you sweat.
Yeah.
When you don't think you should be sweating.
We had a varmint try to get into our chicken coop.
A varmint?
Yeah, I don't know.
What kind of varmint?
Well, it was a kind of varmint that was trying to dig under.
What would that be?
Probably an opossum.
That'll get your eggs.
Or a raccoon, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you have a game camera?
We set one up, but we couldn't find. I put a light out there so my other security camera could see it better.
Yeah.
Nothing happened last night. So I went out there yesterday and dug a trench and put some blocks there to where you'd have to dig a little bit deeper to get out or to get in. So
when that starts happening, it's kind of a pain in the rear because what do you do? I mean, I've got places where something's dug, or the rain. It's been so rainy that sometimes it like underneath the fence, it's washing the ground away a bit. But yeah.
Well, I put my fence in the ground pretty far.
Oh, we don't do that.
Oh yeah, so they wouldn't do that. Okay. But there are spots on the metal mesh where he tried to chew it. Because it was
chewer.
Yeah, he probably
chicken killer chewer.
Yeah, he got tired. Anyway, topic to ponders today.
Yeah, well, this week was kind of my idea.
Okay,
good or bad, and that was to compare how you handled certain situations previously. I don't know. I don't have an age range. Just previously, as opposed to how you handle.
How do you deal with stuff now?
Yeah.
As opposed to what you've dealt with.
And we
before.
hope it's in a more mature way.
Yeah, we try.
But.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
Okay. What fears or reactions no longer control you during chaos that used to overwhelm you?
Oh, that's a good one. Fears or reactions. I'm less reactive, and I'm not fearful. I think fear comes when you explode. I think that's a
byproduct of fear.
Yeah. I think that you're trying to protect yourself, so whatever.
Where does fear come from?
Oh, I don't know.
We sing a song at church about fear. Fear is a liar.
Ah, well, yeah, that's true.
In reference to the fact that the enemy is what puts that in your head, not necessarily,
Don't you admire people that are stable when a crisis happens, and you go, dude, why are you not losing it?
Right.
But then they seem to just walk right through the problem without.
It doesn't mean they're not facing chaos.
Yeah.
But outwardly, you don't necessarily, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're just so well grounded. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
well. I think a lot of these questions are based on your maturity.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you have one that you want to read?
Well, I learned that they can't eat you or take your birthday cake away.
Okay.
Leslie King just comes up with who knows what.
He must as a child, there may have been a traumatic moment when he was about to lose his birthday cake.
Ask him about that. And then your wife said uncertainty is part of life. When you learn to accept uncertainty and that everything can't be controlled, you use your resilience and adapt and move forward in a positive way.
Yeah.
At least that's what
I learned something a long time ago when I used to be in the retail video business.
Yeah.
And I was a member of a group, and the group was a support group, sort of, where they sent you a notebook. I mean, you paid a membership. It sent you a notebook, and they gave you inspirational thoughts about being in business. Mm-hmm. And one thing that really stuck out in my mind is in one section it says controllables and uncontrollables. Here's things you can control, and here's the things you cannot control. And don't fret over the ones you can't control because you're just fretting.
What? Yeah. Which list was longer? You know
There's
what?
yeah.
If you went down and sat and put all that in
There's a lot of things you can't control.
Yeah, I'd venture to say there's more you can't control than there
Yeah.
is you can.
So basically, the moral is don't worry about it.
Well, there you go,
Yeah.
Dan.
Okay.
Food for thought. But we really would like for our audience to go to our Facebook page, Around the Table, find the graphic, and give us your thoughts on the topic to ponder. What fears or reactions no longer control you during chaos that used to overwhelm you?
Okay.
Okay.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
You shall not press down upon the brow of labor this crown of thorns. You shall not crucify mankind upon a cross of gold.
129 years ago, presidential nominee William Jennings Bryan started the Democratic National Convention in Chicago with his challenge to those who wanted America to adhere to a gold standard, which he said would bring economic ruin to farmers. This recording of Bryan's speech was made years later.
Okay.
Everybody was running crazy, you know, parents and friends and brothers and sisters, and they just didn't know who was alive or who was dead or what was happening.
This was back in 1982, 43 years ago. A Pan Am Boeing 727 jet crashed into a residential area of Kenner, Louisiana, killing 146 people on board and 8 on the ground. Resident Bobby Fields described the scene after the crash.
Mike Tyson, through 13 years, has lived an exemplary life in the ring.
Okay, 28 years ago, the Nevada State Athletic Commission rescinded Mike Tyson's boxing license and fined him $3 million in response to misconduct during his fight against Evander Holyfield. Attorney Oscar Goodman pled Tyson's case. The suspension was not permanent. The commission restored Tyson's license October 18, 1998.
Did they give the money back?
What do you think?
No. I think this is when he bit an ear off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
If it had come to a full trial, there would have been dirty laundry on both sides. And also there'd be more about their methods and sources and tactics which would have come out.
This was back in 2010, 15 years ago, the largest U.S.-Russia spy swap since the Cold War took place on a remote stretch of Vienna airport tarmac as planes from New York and Moscow arrived within minutes of each other, with 10 Russian sleeper agents and 4 prisoners accused of Russia of spying for the West. Russia expert Edward Lucas said it was a deal that had to be done. That doesn't seem right. 10-4.
No, it doesn't. But business executive and TV personality Kevin O'Leary was born this day in 1954. He is 71. Sometimes called Mr. Wonderful, he's best known for his role on the television entrepreneurial show Shark Tank.
Shark Tank. Love
And that
to
was
watch
the
that
theme
show.
song from Shark Tank.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to hurl that word liberal at my feet, it won't work, Senator, because I will pick up that label and I will wear it as a badge of honor.
Birthday cut. Actor Jimmy Smits was born on this day in 1955. He is 70 today. He's had roles on L.A. Law, NYPD Blue, and as a presidential candidate on The West Wing.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Tom Hanks was born this day in 1956. He's 69. In 1994, he won his first Best Actor Oscar for Philadelphia. He won again the following year for playing the title role in Forrest Gump.
And also in Castaway.
Castaway.
What a tremendous performance.
Yep.
All right. Now, who do we have?
Jacquie, Markel, and Mike Moore are here to, they're representing the film that's going to be happening at our local college here.
All about that in just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back. Stay with us. You're listening and watching Around the Table with Dan and Ann. Stay with us. And welcome back to Around the Table. We're in deep conversation with Jacquie Markel and Mike Moore about all kinds of different things. Specifically, we were talking about COVID, weren't we?
We were.
Has nothing to
Strep,
do with
COVID.
why you guys are here,
No,
so
not
let's
at
get
all.
off of that horrible subject.
For real.
And talk about the King of Kings. Now, we were discussing, there is a movie called The King of Kings. I think it's an older
There
version,
is.
right?
The story is actually a Charles Dickens story.
Is that right?
I did not
He
know
didn't know
wrote
that.
this for his children.
Ah,
So
okay.
it would be something that was relatable for them, that they could learn the story of
Okay.
Christ. And so he wrote it for them and never meant it to be released publicly. But
Wow.
when and I researched this because I was kind of fascinated by it when I heard it. And I guess when his youngest son was older, he decided to release it because he felt like it needed to be shared.
Okay.
And it's based on the Gospels,
Right.
but he just did it to where, like the kids could relate. And
It's
it wasn't-
much more relatable the way they've done it.
Yes.
Rather than
for
just going
sure.
in your Bible, and nothing against that.
Right.
But for kids, you have to
Yeah.
gear it to kids for them to get it.
Exactly. And
So.
they enjoy it. They
Yeah.
really, they love it.
So Ann said that this was an animated feature?
It is. It's fully animated. It's called The King of Kings. Northark is going to be showing it on Saturday, July the 26th.
This is part of their summer series, I guess, or is it additional?
Is, yeah, it is. Shiloh Bible Church, our church, has is the sponsor of it.
Okay.
And we have been kind of wanting to do something like that, so we kind of partnered with them.
And Mike Moore, are you the pastor at Shiloh?
I am. I'm a
For how
temporary.
many years?
Temporary, for 11 years.
Okay. Temporary for 11 years. Okay.
When I first came there, they said, "Would you, stick around a while?" And I said, "Sure, I'll stay until you find somebody." And so I'm temporary. But
But you
that was 11 years
pastored
ago.
a church before.
Uh-huh.
Was it that one? No.
No.
Okay.
No, I
All right.
was at Crossroads for several years,
Okay.
and I actually started at Ironstob Chapel about 30 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay. All right.
So they're not really looking that hard, I guess.
Well, you
You
never
must-
know.
yeah.
It's kind of Sunday by Sunday,
Well, that's
We count
that's
down,
horrible to
we
go
count
in every Sunday and say, I wonder if this is the day they're going to can me.
Yeah, I think pretty safe so far.
Okay.
So.
Well, I digressed to
No,
your
that's
his,
fine,
but
that's fine.
go ahead and talk more
Well,
about the movie.
this is going to
but-
be, I think, the first time that we've ever had a movie inside.
Oh, it's inside.
It's going to be inside the air-conditioned
Okay.
Pioneer Pavilion
Nice.
because July is always a really hot month.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've kind of, we all got together, the committee got together the other day, and we talked it over and decided, well, let's try it and see how this goes. So the activities are going to start at 5:30 that day on the 26th.
And what type of activities?
King Cakewalk.
Okay.
We're going to have an
okay.
old-timey cakewalk.
Cakewalk. Oh, how
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. And so the kids may win some treats to eat while they watch the movie. We're going to have temporary tattoos because that's always a hit. We're going to have crown making station where they can make their own crown.
Wow.
And we're going to have a fun Jesus game,
Okay.
which is the little figurine Jesus. We're going to hide those, and we're actually going to hide some around town, and they'll be marked
Oh, my
on the
gosh.
bottom. And then if you find one, you bring it to the movie, and it's you get your name put in for a drawing at the end of the evening for $100.
Yeah. Are there
So-
clues to help find these around town? It seems
There
like
may
it's almost.
be on social media.
Oh, okay.
There may be
On
a few
what
clues
page?
On social
Just
media.
on-
Maybe on yours.
Oh, maybe.
And maybe on Northark.
If I
The
have
Northark
the
movie-
scoop, there
yeah,
will be.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, okay. Let me ask this: the more baby Jesuses they find, does that enter them more, or just once?
that
I mean, I'm planning on maybe finding a baby Jesus.
I think we're going to do it just
One and done.
One and done.
Okay.
So we would like to have as many people.
You bet.
Get to
What a neat little,
participate as
and that starts when? At what time?
all the activities start at 5:30.
Okay.
But we're also going to have a praise song competition.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't enter because you're too good. No, I'm joking. Mike has a friend that has offered the prize.
Yeah. So, and what's the age on this? Is it?
Well, I don't know that there's an age limit.
Okay.
We didn't really talk about that.
Oh, okay. Well.
So tell us.
So Michael Hosier, who you know, he's been on Around the Table before. Yep. He has donated some studio time for the winner of this competition.
Wow.
And so the song that they sing, they're going to record that, and then he's going to release that out into the music world and see what happens.
Oh,
so
okay.
whoever wins this contest has a chance to have their song recorded professionally and sit out there and see.
Are they open to just solo act or
I
band?
think so.
Okay,
I think
just solos. Okay.
it's really meant toward kids.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
So
I
you
think
want your kid? Yeah.
Yeah. And we haven't really talked about the age limit, but I think we were talking originally about 17 and under or 18 and under.
Sure.
We want some kids to.
I think that's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
It should be fun. Walker Robinson works at the college. He's got a music background, and he's going to kind of screen the applicants. And how you apply is you go to www.northark.edu/movies, and there's a button there where you can submit a 30-second to 1-minute video.
Oh, okay.
And if there's more than 10 entries, which I think there will be,
I hope so.
He's going to, choose the best of the group to perform that night.
Wow.
So
that'd be nice.
while everybody's waiting for the movie and playing games and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah.
So
Well, Mike, he's got some connections
he does.
in the music business.
Mike Hosier, yeah.
Mike Hosier, yeah.
He sure does. Yeah. He sure does.
Yeah. So that might go somewhere.
It sure could.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, we haven't even got to the main attraction yet. I mean, all this fun stuff prior, and what a fun evening. But and then, are there more activities or?
Well, there's going to be, of course, Pappy's Burgers are going to be there. Jack's Ice Cream will be there, and really the movie itself is the star.
You bet it is.
Yeah.
And that will start around.
It starts at 6:30.
6:30. Okay.
So we're going to have an hour of activities, and then the movie starts at 6:30.
Which is one of the reasons we wanted to have it inside. First of all, we can start earlier,
right?
So people can get home earlier and get their kids in bed,
right?
But also, it's going to be not come or stop or go because of weather.
Right.
It's going to be nice inside. It's going to be air conditioned, which is going to be really nice. And so it's just going to be a really good place to bring your kids for a great movie. You
bet. And an alternative to going and sitting in a movie theater for sure. And I mean, I think it's been on at the movie theater here, but I caught it on TV. But that was an excellent movie. I mean, we're in our. Sorry, I won't throw her under the bus. I'm in my 60s.
Go ahead.
We're in our 60s.
Ann and I graduated high school.
We're in our
together,
60s
so.
thinking, I thoroughly enjoyed that, without any kids around me. It was just a heartfelt way to tell the story of Jesus.
It took me back to my childhood. My mom used to read to me from a children's Bible.
Yes.
And there's something about the way a child sees the story when their parent is reading to them. And they put, at least I did, I put myself there, and that's actually how the movie is. The little boy, as the father reads to him, is like, he's right there at with every story.
He's watching.
Jesus walking on water, whatever the scene is, he feels like he's there. So.
And it's not a super long movie.
No.
So, if you're worried about attention span and that type of thing, I think they will be thoroughly enthralled in the whole thing, and that won't even be an issue.
And they really need to understand it's free. I mean,
when
you go to the movies, I mean, you have to pay to go to the movies for a reason. They have to pay to have the rights to play that movie. Well, we've paid that. Shiloh Bible Church has paid that expense. So we want you to bring your kids to enjoy a free movie. If you've got 10 kids,
bring them all.
It costs the same, $0. So
you might have a little competition finding Jesus.
Come. Yeah.
Sibling rivalry might happen.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. This is coming up the 26th.
Yeah.
26th.
And what time does it start?
The activities start at 5:30.
5:30.
The movie starts at 6:30.
6:30. Okay.
Any additional information you want to throw out there while we're on this? Personal information, anything?
We just really, this was Jackie's idea. I want to make sure that
She's
they know
brilliant.
that. She is. And I thought, what a great way to have some outreach to the community. And if we can do this and plant a seed in the hearts of children or their parents that come about Christ and who he is, we know the movie is a movie. But if it plants that seed for them to go and learn more about who Jesus is,
Even one person.
It's well worth it.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of I guess negative thinking about Jesus these days, and question. Yes.
True.
And questioning the fact that it's a real thing, and it's a good thing to go back to the basics and tell the simple story.
Yes.
The way it used to be.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And then you'll be holding baptisms and all that. So I'm just saying.
We can. We sure can.
Make it happen.
This movie does that very well.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming in today.
Thank you all very much. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
And again, that's July 26th. The activities start at 5:30 with some cool activities.
Yeah.
And then at 6:30 is the movie in the Pioneer Pavilion.
Yes.
Correct.
On the South Campus.
Check it out.
Yeah.
And then go to the Facebook page and find out some clues on how you can find your Jesus.
There you go.
There you go.
Everybody needs to find Jesus.
Well, they do. That's what I was thinking. Okay.
And they need to submit their music.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great opportunity for a youngster. So
find out more at northark.edu /movies, and you'll find out more information there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Around the Table. Possible rain this afternoon. Yesterday it rained. It rained and rained and rained and rained. And I think it was only like a 20 or 30% chance yesterday, so I don't know.
It's a crapshoot.
I don't know anymore.
I don't know anymore either, Dan.
Yeah.
So.
Mattel Barbies have been around since 1959, I think, is when
I have my original Barbie.
Does it have the date on her butt?
I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yeah, you need to look.
1969, maybe. I can't remember.
I think it's stamped the date. If it's an original,
well,
it's stamped on their butt when the year they were made.
It doesn't mean that I bought the 1959 one. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't around, but.
It should have the date, though.
I'll have to look
if you
at
bought
her.
it in the 60s
I'll have to go
or
look
whatever.
at Barbie's butt.
They'll go look at Barbie's butt. Anyway, they come out with a new Barbie. It's called Diabetes Barbie.
Okay.
And she has type 1 diabetes.
Wow.
And apparently that's a good thing because Mattel has made the first version of the doll that comes with a pink glucose monitor and an insulin pump. They even teamed up with a diabetes organization to make sure her gear is legit. It's supposed to help the estimated 1 million kids and grown-ups with the disease feel a little more included at the toy store.
Do you think that kids feel excluded when they don't have dolls like that? I've never really thought about that.
I don't know.
I don't know that I would have, but
yeah.
They're probably obviously there's someone that's feeling that
way. They've made so many. In the beginning, they made one Barbie.
Yeah.
Now there's all kinds of Barbies.
Any kind of Barbie you want to buy.
And then there's the short teenage Barbie. I don't know what that was.
And then there's Skipper.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking about.
Well, she's not Barbie. She's Skipper.
Okay, Skipper then. And then you got Ken, and then other whatever. I would think this is just that they looked at the numbers. They had a meeting in their big, long,
warehouse building. I don't know where you're at.
Meeting room with the big conference table. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
And they said, look at these numbers. There's a lot of people with diabetes. We could make a profit.
It's all profit. It's all profit.
Well, sure. Why would they do it without the profit factor?
Sure.
So,
I agree.
Anyway.
So, do you know, yesterday we talked about the fact that TSA was going to stop requiring you take your shoes off in the TSA line. And some states have already adopted that. And I think by the end of this month, or some here real soon, that will not be a requirement whatsoever. But this story, why did it start? Why did it start? Somebody tried to do something stupid, After almost 20 years of stinking up airports across the country, you can now leave your shoes on when you go through security. The TSA is reportedly phasing out the rule, starting with some of the larger airports. But why did it become a rule in the first place? Well, here's why. Back in 2001, a British man tried to blow up an American Airlines flight with explosives hidden in his shoes.
Uh-huh.
So then they started requiring that you take your shoes off.
Yeah.
It failed to detonate, so it wasn't an issue, but they started asking patients. You can see where my mind is. Parents, no, people.
Well, I would think that reporting on a story like this is going to entice someone to
do something stupid.
With their shoes.
Agreed. Now that you don't have to take them off, don't you think the crazy people out in the world are going to try it all again to see if they can hide something in there?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think less is better. Stop talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's how I felt when... Well, I'm not going to say.
Oh, now I want to know.
No, just... certain military things that are done, don't freaking tell everybody because then what's going to happen?
Yeah.
They're going to know.
They're going to know.
So anyway.
Have you seen this footage of Mary Lou Retton? You remember?
Dan, I know. I saw a picture, and that was all I needed.
I actually watched it this morning. I didn't know we were doing a story on this, but it was kind of sad, really.
Bless her heart.
The West Virginia cops who arrested Olympic legend Mary Lou Retton for DUI have revealed how she did on their version of the balance beam. They released the body cam footage from her arrest and just say it wasn't Olympic caliber. Points to Retton for offering to do it with one leg straight up in the air instead of just 6 inches off the ground. She's apologized and already pleaded no contest to the DUI charge. And she's got some health problems because she had a portable air tank with her.
Tank with
you know, it's it's going into her nose and everything. And the thing was, she was weaving in and out, and when they pulled her over, she had a open bottle of wine in the passenger seat. So she had been, and the video visibly shows that she was
inebriated.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just sad to see your heroes become human.
And yes, I think a lot of times, I don't know what age she was when she was at her height in the Olympics,
I think she was
and all that.
17, 18,
See,
yeah.
I can't imagine that type of pressure, especially that young of an age. How if you're not well grounded, or if something happens, I think it can just totally blow you out of the water. And I'm not saying that's what happened to her, but I think it happens to a lot of young people who are under so much pressure, either in acting or Olympics or all that stuff, that they just maybe go to substance to fill themselves.
Well, whatever. I mean, people drink wine and
yeah, but not to that extent.
Yeah.
Don't go drink and drive.
She wasn't stumbling around. And she was trying to do the lifting one leg off, and she could hold it for 3 or 4 seconds, but she
How old is she now? I mean,
she's
come on.
She's 57.
Yeah.
And the eye test, you're supposed to keep your head still, and you just let your eyes go. Well, if you're inebriated, you can't do that because you're tipsy to begin with. So you move your head to keep yourself stable. And she couldn't do that either. So.
And the whole walking with your one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
I can't do that on a normal day without stumbling.
Yeah, they make it difficult. Oh. And then she refused to a breathalyzer.
Yeah, well, that was kind of key.
I mean, I would.
Would you refuse to?
I would be like, yeah, I'll blow into it. That's no problem.
Anyway. Yeah. Well.
Are you an instant coffee drinker?
Not unless I don't have any power.
Okay.
You can. Well, go ahead.
Well, there's a study out, and it's asked the question: does instant coffee make you blind?
What?
Yeah. Why is it that people who drink instant coffee instead of the brewed stuff have a greater chance of going blind? Well, that's the question. The new research out of UK has found that people who prefer the instant variety were 8 times more likely to develop age-related macular degeneration. They're not sure if it's something that's in instant coffee we should worry about, or that maybe that some genetic quirk that causes blindness in the same one that makes us prefer freeze-dried coffee.
So it may have nothing to do with coffee.
Could be genetic.
But it could be genetic.
Yeah.
Good grief, though.
Yeah, but I just wonder where all this money's going to for these studies.
For all these reasons.
I want to do a study.
Well, I'm pretty sure that we're paying for it somehow or another.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
we're paying for it.
We are paying for it. One of the summer activities for a lot of families is to go to the beach, right? And you hope that the beach is clean and doesn't have all the sargassum and all that.
About the ocean beach.
The ocean beach. I'm sorry, yes.
All right.
Just when you thought sharks and hot sand were your biggest problems at the beach, almost 2/3 of the U.S. beaches tested last summer came up positive for what? Poop. Okay.
Well,
poop.
The fish, the fish poop, the turtles poop, the sharks poop in the water.
I hope the people don't poop.
What kind of poop is it?
I don't know. Let's find out. And not just a little either. They were so bad that they failed federal safety standards.
Uh-oh.
The Gulf Coast was the worst. where
Oh,
more
yeah.
than 8 out of 10 beaches had at least one day where they tested filthier than a truck
Ooh.
stop bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
The West Coast wasn't much better, but the Atlantic coast seemed the least disgusting, with slightly more than half of the beaches there measuring off the poopometer.
Oh.
So, do humans poop in their ocean?
I guess if there's a need for it, I mean, if emergency.
What, I don't know how you
Do
fix
they
that.
do they dump sewage into the ocean?
Don't you
See,
wonder?
I don't know that. Yeah.
Don't you wonder?
I wonder. I wish they would have told me.
Well, just keep your mouth shut when
I
you're in the ocean water, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know.
I wouldn't go in there either if you had a cut or something.
I went diving and I had cut my thumb really quite badly, and I ran into a doctor that has nothing to do with my thumb, but at the airport, and I was telling him about it, and he said, "You're taking antibiotics, right?" Because he knew I was going to get in the ocean.
Right.
And I said, "Well, no, I have some that I was going to start if I needed them." And he said, "Take them now."
Yeah. Well,
Before you get in the ocean, because there's so much bacteria in there.
He was probably associated with this poop test.
I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't ask him if he was on the poopometer. But, okay.
Oh boy.
Anyway, be
makes
careful.
you question going anywhere anymore.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about the lake, it's just nasty anyway.
Yeah,
but
it's pretty nasty.
my little grandson was in there, with his mouth open, and I'm thinking, well, how about some immunity?
But yeah, that'll spark his immune system.
You betcha.
We need to take another break.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna be right back. Stay with us.
Down TV, channel 26.1.
All right, welcome back to Around the Table. Is there anything going on this weekend that we need to talk about?
Yes, actually, there is.
Okay, let's talk
Dan.
about it.
There is the Midsummer Night's Dream in Eureka.
Okay.
Starts. Wait a minute. That doesn't start yet.
Oh, it starts next weekend, doesn't it?
It starts next weekend.
Yeah.
So, but
and it's running 2 weekends, I think.
Yes, starting next weekend and then the weekend
Is it a
after.
Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday? I can't remember.
It's the 18th and 19th.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, Dan.
We will find out.
We're going to find out right here. It's
The
Friday and Saturday.
Friday. That's what I thought. I thought it was kind of weird that they did it on Friday and Saturday, but that's okay.
Hey, it's Eureka. They can do what they want.
They do a lot of things like that.
Well,
they are creatively. They're not creatively challenged.
No, they're not.
They off the scale creative.
Yeah, there's always something going on.
Always
up there.
something going on up there. It's a very. I like to go up there and just look at the creative stuff that they do.
It's a very eclectic town.
Eclectic, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eclectic
and eclectic.
So while we're talking about, the heat index being 97 this week and yada, 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 I want to remind people to avoid different things. No. Drink lots of water.
Okay.
That was what I was going to say.
Oh.
And be aware of heat stroke and all that, because it's a real deal. Throbbing headache, confusion, rapid pulse.
If you don't feel good out in the heat, that's probably the first warning signs.
It is.
If you're exhausted and fatigued, that's probably the beginning signs of heat stroke or heat exhaustion.
Yep.
First thing you do is stop what you're doing, sit down, drink, get into a cooler environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also, there is a Bible school that starts tonight, actually, at Oak Lane Church. And that's on Goblin Drive, 912 Goblin Drive to be exact. Ages 4 to 12. It's 9th, 10th, and 11th. And the time is from 6 to 8:30. There will be supper for kiddos at 5 p.m. every night. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just go drop your kiddos off for Bible school. And bring your parents on the Family Fun Day, and that will be July 12th from 10 to 1. But there's games, food, all that kind of stuff for the Family Fun Day. But, for Wonder Junction is the theme of this one. Marvel at Jesus and live for his glory at Oak Lane Church.
Yeah. Now, did you go to a vacation Bible school when you were a kid?
Sure.
Okay.
I went to my grandma's, too. My grandma's church. She went to a different one.
Did you go during the day, or was it at night?
It was during the day.
Yeah, it was during the day, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I think they've tried to cater more to parents being able to take their kids, because most parents work during the day and can't really arrange that for their kids.
Yeah.
So, what else?
There's fewer deals at Prime this year.
So I've heard because of
tariffs.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It says here, if you've noticed that this year's Prime Day is kind of a bust, that's because tariffs have made most of the independent sellers on Amazon stingy with their discounts, and they account for about 60% of the stuff sold on Amazon. Electronics would usually get a 20 to 30% markdown this week, but sellers are paying at least that much in tariffs, and the only ones who used to list everything from frying pans to shoes at a cost during Prime Day can't afford it anymore.
Wow. That's it's a sad Prime. Sad.
Well,
sad.
it's all about market shares and competition and.
Well, isn't that how it's supposed to be? Isn't that the way?
That's the way it's supposed to be. That's capitalism.
Yeah.
That's the way it works. I mean, I like that concept, where you look at a deal and you go, "Are you the only one making this?" No, there's other people. Okay, well, you're a little too high. I'm going to go over here and see if I can find another deal. Yeah.
RFK is doing all this stuff with encouraging dyes out of foods and all that unnatural stuff. Well, Skittles and M&Ms are not going to jump on board with that. Ooh. They are going to keep their artificial dyes, according to this story. Yes. They're still going to be made of artificial colors, despite a promise to ditch them and a lot of pressure from the government. The candy maker told the New York Times the dyes are proven safe and that while they don't plan to break any laws, maybe the government should worry more about cigarettes, pot, and booze instead of brightly colored candy.
Oh, let's divert the attention over there. Those people are worse than us.
In that human nature, right there.
Yeah, well,
your crap is bigger than mine.
They have determined that some dyes are not good for your body.
Red dye. I've read a lot about that.
Yeah.
Even with parents on social media talking about their kids act totally different if they are susceptible to whatever.
Even though it's not a toxic thing initially, it can give long-term effects.
Yeah.
So anyway.
How long should you pee, Dan?
We were talking about this earlier. I don't know. Let's find out. By the sound of it, a bunch of scientists at the Georgia Institute of Technology stood outside the bathroom with a stopwatch.
Oh, geez.
And came up with what they say is the law of urination. It's a fancy way to describe how long the typical whiz should last. And according to them, the magic number is 21 seconds. Okay?
No pressure.
No
pressure to get your pee out
no
in
pressure.
21 seconds.
Does that count for your anticipation time? Waiting
I don't know.
for the stream?
Sometimes you gotta wait a second.
Okay. And they say it's long enough to hum the verse of Happy Birthday.
I can't do that.
Yeah. They found that almost all mammals take that long too, regardless of their size.
Well, bully.
And while it's a good indication of overall health, they say don't get distracted by the number. Anytime between 20 and 25 seconds is good for a tinkle.
What if you time it and you're taking longer or less? Are you going to have to go be in
I just start, and then when I'm finished, I'm
done.
I'm done. I don't worry about the study.
I don't worry about the study. I don't worry about how long the stream is, and I don't worry about how many times I have to use it, except it's inconvenient. But
well, just be thankful that you have what they call the urge to go.
Otherwise you got a leaky bladder. And
something's all weird.
Whatever.
And then our last story here says some babies are just born fussy.
Baby.
If you were a fussy baby, you could probably expect the same from your own kids. Research studies 1,000 sets of fraternal and identical twins in a new study, and they found that genetics impacts how much a baby cries and how fast they can calm themselves down. The identical twins cried more together, while the fraternal twins cried at different times. However, the number of nightly wake-ups is influenced by the baby's environment, not genetics. All the babies in the study woke up during the night at the same time as their twin.
I have friends who just brought their twins home. They were born at 30 weeks, and they're doing well, but I'm curious to see how all that plays out with twins. Hey, do you know what today is?
National No Bra Day.
Take the bras off.
I'm not going to wear mine
for sure. Free the tatas, ladies. Go for it.
National Dimples Day, National Don't Pull all your eggs in one omelet day, Amazon Prime Day, and the shortest day ever is today.
Question mark. It has a question mark.
We got to go, guys.
We'll be back tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.